We're talking football with Bengal Jim and friends. We're talking football. We hope this never ends. Jimmy, James, and Tom are back for more. Like Joey B, we're here for season 4 with Bengal guests and stories not heard before. There's Tony, Mark, and Jamie, as well as our charity. Hooday Nation joining from far and wide. Every Tuesday night, the guys are back at it live. By the fans, for the fans from day one. It's time to have some fun. We're talking football with Bengal Jim and friends. We're talking football. We hope this never ends. The Bengal boys stop by to drop the speed. Don't get your popcorn ready and take a seat. Season 4 will end with the Lombardi.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Back to Tuesday night now for the rest of the season. Our first preseason game, our only preseason game at home this year, coming up this Friday against the Green Bay Packers. It'll be good to see everybody down at Paycor Stadium there. But good to see James back on the screen. Welcome back to Civilization, James.
It's good to be back, and you make it sound like one preseason game is a bad thing. That is good at home. We can get through it, get ready for the regular season, and wrap all of our tables and our players in a lot of bubble wrap, and make sure they stay safe for the three games that we have. And it's good to be back.
So Tom, Tony, myself, and thousands of other Bengal fans were up in Canton this weekend. What a hell of a weekend, guys!
Incredible. You can see how special it was. It was amazing, to watch all those big tough guys reduced to tears, accepting their place in Canton. But the main thing we all wanted to see was finally Ken Riley going into the Hall of Fame. And it was about time. It was too late. The true shame of it was that Ken himself could not be there with his passing. But I'll tell you what, getting to know Ken II and the rest of his family these last couple of years, the apple doesn't far fall from the tree. Classy people, hardworking people, and you got a real spirit of what Ken was like by getting to know his family. But they handled it with complete class and dignity, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun seeing a lot of Bengal fans up there.
Yeah, the parade was phenomenal. The Bengals did it up right. They had the Bengals were there. Houday was there. We were there helping to represent and, bring Riley, him and his family to the Hall of Fame. A lot of 13 jerseys out there in the crowd and hooting and hollering. So it was a lot of good fun. And I was glad to be able to be a part of that for sure.
Yeah. So about 8:15, Ken Riley II will come on and recap the week at the Hall of Fame with him and his family. They got up there, I want to say around Tuesday. And I tell you what, man, if you were watching the induction ceremony, if you were in the building for that or watching it live, you had to have tears in your eyes, man. Just watching Barbara Riley just break down her presentation, the intro for Ken Riley II. It was a very heartwarming. It was fun to see all the Bengal fans represented up there for sure. But we'll have Ken Riley on here at about 8:15. 8:40, we have another charity duck race. You guys did a hell of a job again. Tony will kind of roll that out here around 8:40. And 8:50, we're going to talk about K.Anderson. 8:22, August 22nd is coming up. That's the final vote, or at least when it's supposed to be in for the senior committee. So we're hoping Ken can be in that top 3 and get us back-to-back years with Bengals in the Hall of Fame. So a couple things, guys. Let's kick off. We got a little time here before Ken Riley comes on. Let's go ahead and talk a little about camp, Tom. Give us some camp updates here. We know there's a lot of names popping up in the press here that we didn't expect.
On the offensive side of the ball, it sounds like our wide receivers are going front and center, and that's without Joe Burrow at camp so far. But Jamar and T are evidently catching anything thrown north of the Ohio River, coming down with everything looking extremely impressive, in incredible shape. And I think they're both poised to have magnificent seasons. And the other thing to keep in mind, remember in the AFC Championship, for some reason, nobody likes to bring this up, Tyler Boyd got hurt, and he was starting to get into a rhythm. when those two guys on the outside, when they start giving them more attention, when they start shading the safeties off to the sides, Tyler Boyd and hopefully our tight end are both open down the middle. So sounds like everything is looking very good in the wide receiver position. Got a lot of young quality depth there. So a lot of excitement there. The line is improved. I don't think anybody's going to look at our offensive line this year and say it's a liability. I don't know if it's a top 5 offensive line in the league or top 10. They could get there, but I don't think it's going to be a liability. I think it's going to end up being a strength and much, much better than average. I think they're going to be good this year. Quarterback is hurt still. And I know we were supposed to wait at least 3 weeks, but I know I want to see him back out there, and I want to know everything is good. And if he's good, I'm good. The city's good. Everything can go fine. But we miss Joe. The running backs, I saw a story today. It's something interesting. James and I have talked a lot about this. One of the big beefs with the running back position the last couple of years was they weren't picking up blitzes. And when they were picking up blitzes, they were getting overwhelmed by the players blitzing. But they said in drills, Joe Mixon's looked a lot better. I know that they were sort of raving about how Chris Evans has improved in that area. And Chase is supposedly very good in that. I didn't see anything particular on him. So, that's another good thing. Tight end position, seeing nothing but good things about Irv Smith. They are very high on a guy by the name of Tanner Hudson, who's been around the league for a while, a couple years in Tampa, a year with the Giants, a little bit of time with San Francisco, signed to the practice squad late last year. Evidently, he is catching everything thrown his way. And James, where did he go to college?
Southern and Western Directional Arkansas.
Southern Arkansas. That's it. We'll give you that one. Southern Arkansas.
One of those directional Arkansas. Yeah, I was there.
But
not the Razorbacks.
Happy with the defensive line and the depth there. Hoping that's going to translate to more sacks with the activities there. Everybody's raving about our corners, and I guess we're going to talk a little bit later about a signing at the linebacker position that came after we were on the air last night. But the linebackers look good. It's that time of year. It's camp. Everybody's very optimistic, but I think the pieces are there as well as can be put together. We just need to get our quarterback healthy.
Yep.
But look at this. We have Dabo Sweeney joining us tonight from Clemson with his 805 winning percentage. How about that? It'd be a little bit higher if Syracuse didn't knock him off at the Dome that one year, but I digress.
Are they staying in the ACC? Hey, Dabo, are you staying in the ACC or stepping up to the Big Ten?
Oh boy.
They are. Big Ten is my bet. We digress to college football talk here on Bengal Jim and Friends. I think we saw Lisa pop in. If I'm not mistaken, she had a birthday this past week. So happy birthday to Lisa. And who else is in the for now staying? Dabo says he's going to stay for a little bit. Just keep sending us players from the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Real quick, I just shared in. Yeah, I know Frank. Frank's a good dude, man. Jungle to the Hall, Frank. Real quick, I put a link in the chat area right now. Cooks is almost sold out of the initial hats, the Tailgate Series hats with the AFL, the old 68, 69 AFL logo on it. So I'd get those while you can because they're going to be gone here very soon. They sold almost 50 the very first day online. So the hats are going over very well. It's a series of 5 different hats that you'll see here coming from Cooks once a month. Usually around the first of the month, we'll see those. Also, wanted to get out. Actually, I need your help. I need everybody's help here. I'm going to post in the chat, the comment area as well. If you're able to click on that link I just posted. And again, we're only going right now to Twitter and YouTube. We're still having Facebook connectivity issues. So I'm getting tons of text messages. Share the word, spread the word, watch on YouTube at this point. But the link that I just shared with you, my company was able to raise $5,000 for Pro Kids here in Cincinnati. And if we get 500 votes on this particular link, they don't ask for your name, your address, phone number. If we get 500 votes, we get another $5,000 towards the Pro Kids charity here in Cincinnati. So you just give us a vote right there. It'd be awesome. So let's keep going here real quick. Hey, let's go ahead and roll this out, James. Tony, Tom, we have been working. We get approached all the time by different companies, local and nationally, and we've been working for the past month and a half, working on an arrangement, a deal with FOCO. And if you're familiar with FOCO at all, they are the premier leader of NFL bobbleheads. If you have bobbleheads at all, you probably have a ton of those. If you look underneath, it's FOCO bobbleheads. We are their exclusive influencers for the entire season this year. They are going to be providing all kinds of stuff. And let me share a video with you here real quick. So these overalls, bracelets, these Crocs, there's all kinds of things that they are rolling out. These Bengal glasses. We are going to have boxes and boxes full of this stuff to give away at the tailgate, give away during our podcast, and on our social media platforms. So this is a big deal, guys. This is there's some other stuff coming down the road that we hope will be a surprise to everybody. But we just wanted to roll out, make that announcement. We put it on one of our social media platforms today. But FOCO is a season-long sponsor and partner with Bengal Jim and Friends on all the social media platforms, our tailgate, and our podcast. So that's a big deal, James. That was a lot of fun kind of working with them, putting this together.
100%. Excited to see what they unveil. And as you said, a lot of that's going to be given away throughout the year, not only at the tailgates, but online. And, anything we ask for the partners that step up and work with us, none of this is going in our pocket. 100% of the proceeds go to charity, and we appreciate them stepping up, and in turn, just going to do a pass through to many of the 20 plus, 30 plus charities that we work with. So stay tuned for exciting news on that. And we already got posted that on Facebook earlier that I saw was on the other social media channels. And some people have already ordered those overalls and some of the other cool stuff from them. So appreciate them coming on board. And as Jimmy said, stay tuned for how you can win some of their cool items throughout this season.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Everybody that's part of this on social media, the podcast, and at the tailgate, everybody's gonna have fun with this all year. There's a lot of stuff we'll be giving away from FOCO, but thanks FOCO for everything. So we're still working on how do we raise money through FOCO through this partnership. So we're working on the details. Once we have that arrangement mapped out, we'll kind of share where that money is going. It will go directly to whatever charity we designate for them, but we are working on the details of that right now, and that won't happen until the end of the year anyhow. So good stuff. Well, Tom, we've got Ken Riley II in the waiting room right now. I think we go ahead and bring him on, but I'll let you do the intro on this one.
As we stated at the beginning of the show, it's been a privilege to get to know Ken and his family these last couple of years as we've been pushing and Jungle to the Hall and so forth. And the destination for his dad is complete. He's in Canton, where his bust will be forever, and his story as a player will be told forever. But more than that, as we heard over and over this weekend, despite his Hall of Fame career and Hall of Fame talent, he was just a sensational person, a class act, and a symbol to everybody, his teammates, and everybody that he touched. And he touched many, many people after he left Cincinnati. But and like I said, the apple didn't fall far from the tree with his children. So he gave a great speech Saturday. And without further ado, here is Ken Riley II.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Ken, what's going on, man?
Not much. Just thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem, man. I can just see the look on your face, the relief, the years and years of just fighting this battle, right? When your dad was here, then when your dad passed, still continuing to fight this battle, man. It's got to be a huge relief for you and the family to see this finally happen.
It really is. I mean, you said it. It feels like closure. I'm still trying to decompress because the week was so full. It was very emotional, but it just feels like closure now. Something that we've been waiting for now that it's finally happened. It's just a big relief.
Tom, go ahead.
Ken, with everything that went down over the weekend, I had to wonder when we were there and you guys were behind the stage earlier, of the guys that were there, your dad's peers, your dad's brothers in the Hall of Fame, did anybody come up to you and tell you a story you hadn't heard before? or talk about his playing a game maybe you hadn't heard before?
No, not so much telling the stories, but it was just very humbling, and it really was kind of overwhelming that all the guys basically were coming up saying, "Man, he should have been there a long time ago." Like Peyton Manning. Just coming up. He said it several times. To me as well as my mother, like he should have been there. Chris Berman. You know, coming up to you. I mean, sincere, and it was like, man, I don't know. He should have been there a long time ago. Ronnie Lott. I mean, just all of the greats and people that I grew up analyzing, and for them to come and say that, it really meant a lot. And although he wasn't there, and it's still bittersweet, but just to hear those guys, because I had so much respect for them and admiration, and then for them to turn around and say that about my father was really heartfelt and heartwarming.
What we didn't see was his bust in the bust room itself. What was it like to see him where he belongs finally? And what was the reaction of your family?
It's just surreal. I was wondering how it would feel leading up to this. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. It still doesn't seem real almost. But just to go in with a great bunch of guys, Rondé and the Howleys and Coach Coriel, and I mean the entire 2023 class. You really form bonds because you work through the process with all the other 8, and so definitely a great class. And just to finally see all of those busts in their final place was awesome to see.
James?
Yeah, going into the weekend, Ken, great to see you again. I apologize, couldn't make it, but we had a good celebration in Cincy, back to the jungle, to the Hall 3 there. That was a lot of fun. Going into the weekend, I think, you had a lot of the stuff laid out, obviously the speech written, speaking to the Hall of Fame going in, but was there one thing that maybe surprised you that happened over the weekend that you weren't expecting?
No, I mean, because it's been a long time coming as far as the planning. It's almost like similar to like a wedding almost. So everything was detailed. My wife does a great job of, she's an engineer, so she's very detailed and planned it out and kept everybody aware on the same page. So not so much surprising, but again, it was just a week full of nonstop, and it was just a lot of fun. Everybody kept saying, stay in the moment, just enjoy it, which I tried to do as best as possible. But it was overall just a great weekend. And, I got to see a lot of the Who Dey Nation and fans, which is always good to see. Yeah, I know you told me you're a world traveler. I wanted to be like, you're always, going to great
Yeah.
places. So I know you were having a good time. So we miss you, but I definitely understand.
Yeah, no, that was great. We got a picture here. This was shared on the Bengals page. If it pops up here, about just kind of recapping the weekend. We see there you giving the speech, unveiling of the trophy itself. And did you get a chance to go into the Hall of Fame and see it among the other 300 busts inside the actual Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I actually, that Sunday they had it up then. I didn't go back in. I'm just going to plan on going back up there later. But yeah, just to, like I said, I saw the pictures, and I know most of the guys went back up and saw the final resting place. But just, seeing the bus, I saw pictures of it, but they did a great job of that bus. I mean, it looks like him, and so I was very happy and pleased with it. They do with all those guys. It's amazing what they do, and just to take a picture and the details and to come up with that is just my hats off to them for that.
I think we joked about that when you were on the show earlier in the year about the stash, about having the stash, and it was definitely there on the gold bust.
Yeah, I mean, just every detail was he knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
For sure.
So Ken, talk us. I mean, you and the fam, you got up there Tuesday, I think, right?
Yes.
To Canton. So talk
Yes,
about
I
that
did.
week. Just some things that kind of stuck out to you, man. Obviously, everybody watched. if they weren't there, they were watching live the induction ceremony piece. But kind of talk about what the NFL and the Hall of Fame did Tuesday all the way up to the induction ceremony and the parade.
Yeah, I think Tuesday started off with golf. A lot of those guys play golf religiously. So Tuesday and Wednesday was golf. And then Wednesday was the kickoff reception at the actual Hall of Fame, where all of the players and family got together at one of their halls at the stadium and just had hors d'oeuvres and kind of just like recap, letting us know what the agenda would be for the week. And then Thursday was the Hall of Fame game, and we were presented at before the game, which is great. And then Friday was the gold jacket ceremony where they were able to get their gifts. And one of the big things about that is that this was actually the first class for the families to receive that gold jacket. So we're the first class to receive that. So that was big. President Jim Porter has been like fantastic, and where he's just making a lot of changes, really listening to the families and trying to make it more inclusive for those families whose players have passed away. But it's just he's been doing a remarkable job, and so we were able to this year get the gold jacket.
Nice. Tony?
So, Ken, we know the story, but tell us about your commitment of not going to the Hall of Fame until this past weekend, and what was your feelings when you first walked into that place?
It was again like very emotional when if you're coming up even from the highway. I always saw the big pictures of all of the 2023 class, and I could see his picture there. So that's always emotional every time I saw it. But yeah, a long time ago, I just made it for my mind that I don't want to go until he's in. And he had gone several times because the Black College Hall of Fame exhibit is now inside of with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I had opportunity to go at that time, and other times I could have gone as well. Been to the College Hall of Fame that's in Ohio, but never there. So it was just like I'm finally here, and it's a great experience. And, to see all of those, the bust, and they're growing that campus tremendously. They got restaurants now, and they're going to have a Ferris wheel, and then they're going to have a water park. So over the next year, it's going to be a destination, and I think it's great for the city of Canton. Some of the nicest people around. They really are very, show us nothing but hospitality. So look forward to seeing in the future just how it's continuing to grow.
Yeah. Tom?
Ken, if your dad had been here, how much would it have meant to him to see all his teammates up there? There were a lot of guys there that made the trip, and I don't know how many of them annually, other than Anthony Munoz, make it up to Canton that first hot weekend in August. But what was it like to not just see all those great players, but those great Bengal players that came up to help celebrate with you and your family?
Of course, he was all about the team, so he definitely would have. It was very humbling, even for myself. So, but if he was there, that would have really, made the weekend special for him, just to see those former teammates. I hate to say names, but even in the speech, I know Lamar Parrish's, Reggie Williams, Lewis Spring, Isaac Curtis, K.Anderson's, even Ray Griffin. Yeah, there's just so many guys that were there, and I really appreciated it. And Jim Breach, Munoz, the list goes on, and those guys is really appreciate them showing up for my father.
We have a question here, Ken, from Paul Blanton. Can you talk a little bit about the emotions your mom experienced? Obviously, she was the presenter there for those that watched it on TV. Can you talk about what the emotions you saw through your mom being there this past weekend?
I really was trying hard to avoid looking at my mom because I knew that I was going to be emotional myself. And I know Steve Connell, who, was doing all of the poems before. I was really trying to tune him out because I had heard several of his, poems before. And so I was really I knew they were going to be great, but at the same time, I was really not trying to listen or focus or look at my mom because uh, I knew that it was going to be emotional for both of us. And I just wanted to be able to get through my speech. So all the time before the speech, I'm just like not trying to focus on either one. And but what you saw was the true emotion. Even that is on Instagram now. She was she kissed the bus. They were high school sweethearts, and it's very emotional for her and very bittersweet because she was there from the beginning when the NFL wasn't even a thought. And so to see the progress from all the way from high school to college to the professionals and now to the hall is it was like I said, very you know good experience for her, but at the same time it would never be how the perfect fairy tale ending. But it was a great weekend for sure.
So, Ken, I mean, you said obviously you talked to Jim Porter, new president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What insights was he able? Did he share anything with you specifically? I know we have a bottleneck, right, of other Hall of Famers, and let's talk about our legends. Obviously, your dad's in there now, but we got Ken Riley, Isaac Curtis, Willie Anderson, Lamar Parrish, Corey Dillon, all these guys that should be in. Let's just focus on the seniors because we want the Isaacs and the Lamars and the Ken Andersons in. But anything talked about at all with you guys as a group about what they're trying to do to address that?
No, not at that point as far as the voting process, but they are aware of it, and I don't even know, like, even 3 this year over the next 2 years is definitely not enough. I mean, it's too many guys, and that's one of the things that I was always telling Rondé and Revis and Joe and Zach is that I was happy for them that they're young enough and to be able to experience this, and they have, Lord's willing, years to come back and enjoy the process and don't take it for granted because there's so many players that don't get to see it, or even when they get in now, they're kind of older and don't want to fly, so they're young enough to really enjoy the experience, and I know they're aware of it now, and Jim Porter is open into making changes and making things right. So I'm thinking in the future some things will change to get more guys in because you really want guys to be able to be alive and experience it for themselves.
Yeah, Tom.
Well, that was just it, Ken. On that, you've been so gracious to us. Your family has been so nice to us and so open to us. But do you mind if we still bug you? Because you've got credibility nobody else has on the screen. You've been up on that stage and you felt it and you've seen it. Can we still bug you to borrow your voice because we're not stopping. We got to get working on Ken Anderson. We got to get working on Willie Anderson and Corey Dillon, Lamar Parrish, everybody Jimmy just mentioned.
Well, first of all, it's not a bother because I don't ever think that it's bother because I feel the same way. Like I said, it's something that I definitely don't want to happen to others. And, even Jim was at the party. That's something I'm telling Ken Anderson. I'm saying this how many times I can say it. That I'm praying that this is the year he's already to the finals. I know in the next 2 weeks they're probably going to make that decision, but I'm praying that the momentum continues and he would be the next for 2024. But like you said, Ken Anderson, Willie Anderson, I know he's been in the finals the last 2 years, but also I would definitely want to get Isaac hasn't been mentioned, and a lot of the players. I was talking to James Lofton, who's great, who's always been a big supporter of my father. He was saying that Charlie Joyner was really saying that Isaac definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and he's not even getting mentioned right now. So it's just a travesty that it's a lot of the Bengals, like you said, the Willie Andersons and even Corey Dillon. Hopefully we can continue, like I said, this momentum. And I know that with winning, that will happen. So I'm praying that we'll continue to win and get our first Super Bowl sooner than later. Hopefully this year. I'm thinking this is the year. I just want to keep it going. Dad's in the Hall of Fame this year. Get the Andersons in, win a Super Bowl, and I think that will really just keep that momentum and get a lot more guys in because 25 years is definitely too long to have, in between Hall of Famers for the Bengals.
Ken, that's a hell of a run. Your dad, Willie, Kenny, Super Bowl. We'll take that all the next 12, 24 months. Sure.
Yeah. Hey, I'm speaking it into existence. I really think that. I've been saying it for a while now, privately at the house, and I actually had that in my speech that I was going to say, but couldn't figure out a way to end it because I wanted to end that way and kind of say that, but it just wasn't working out to say that. But I am really every chance I get now, I'm pushing for K.Anderson. Like I say, he's a finalist. Definitely want him to get in. Willie Anderson to get in. Like I said, Isaac to get in. And even, the Ring of Honor, I got to go with my guy, Reggie Williams. That's one of the guys I definitely want him to be able to experience that and get him in that Ring of Honor, hopefully sooner than later as well. So I got work. I'm still working on Lewis Breeden and the Black College Hall of Fame. So, no, I'm not going to stop. I'm a fan of those guys. Those guys I looked up to. Bengals are, that's my family, my team. So no, it's never a bother. You guys have been great from start to finish over the last 2 to 3 years, and whatever I can do, it's never a bother for me at all because I just love the game. I love football, and so those guys have always been a supporter of my father, and now I'm definitely going to support them.
So Ken, what games you get? You're coming in town this year for your game or two, right?
Yeah, definitely coming to some games. Not quite worked out the details yet. Still trying to figure out my son's schedule, and I got some commitments as far as like back at FAM. They're naming the field itself down at Florida A&M for my dad too. So,
oh wow!
But I'm definitely going to meet to some games.
Yeah. So yeah, just because your dad's in the Hall of Fame doesn't mean I stop bugging the hell out of you, Ken. So I'll still be calling and texting because we need some help. We're going to need some direction with some of these other guys. The main focus right now with the senior committee, obviously, is K.Anderson. Then the current committee with Willie, but then right behind K.Anderson for the senior committee. Once we get him in, we got to start focusing time and effort and some energy around Isaac as well for the senior committee because we got such a backlog. We can't get everybody in at once. We got to pick and choose who we're going to be focusing on in the senior committee, man. So it is full bore 100% K.Anderson right now for the senior committee. And then after this is done on the 22nd, we turn our energy back to Willie Anderson again to try to push that one. So these guys are getting in. I just want them in while they're still here, man. And that's kind of a really big thing, man. That was there wasn't a dry eye in the entire stadium, Ken, when your mom was talking, and then when you came out, how eloquently and just professionally you were able to speak. I wouldn't be able to hold it together, man. But you did one hell of a job, man. You and the fam represented yourselves, the city of Cincinnati, your dad, and the Cincinnati Bengal fans very proudly, man. We appreciate it big time, man. I had goosebumps sitting there the whole time watching that speech, man, and just overdue, but it felt great for you to be up there talking about it.
It was awesome, man. Again, hats off to you guys for everything you do. And I just look forward to Cincinnati Bengals, the Brown family. They threw a party afterwards, and they've been so supportive. And I mean, I can't thank you enough. I can't say it enough for the fans. I see it on the social media. And I just love it. I think we have some of the best fans, in the nation. And we're just going to continue to keep this momentum going. We're going to get some more guys in for sure. And anything I can do, like I said, I'm definitely down for it.
Yep, got it. All right, anything else before you close, guys? I know we had Ken for a period of time.
Let us know when they're going to dedicate that field to your dad.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I think it's going to be actually September 16th, though. That's the first home game against West Florida. So it'll be early. So that, like I said, that gave me a chance to look at some games when I'm gonna come up there. I'll probably come to, or either I'm gonna go to some games. It might be away as well. So definitely gonna be going to some games. So
All right. All right. You get in town, or if it's an away game, you know we got you taken care of, buddy. So we will see you and the fam. Tell Tiff and everybody we said, hey, so proud of you guys, so happy for you guys. I can just see the relief on your face. Just proud dad watching down over that the induction ceremony, man. Just you could feel his presence, man. It was awesome to see, and we love you guys, man. We're happy as hell for you, man. We're happy as can be.
again, thanks you all guys, and look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right, brother. Who day, man. Tell the
All right,
family
take
said
care.
hey.
Who day?
Good day.
Yes,
See you,
sir.
buddy.
Will do. All right, thank you.
Tom, I think you said it first, man. Just apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right?
No, not at all. Everything I'd ever heard about Ken Riley, it was, exemplified in his son. Just an absolute carbon copy. I got to meet his daughters a little bit Saturday, and Mrs. Riley was smiling as she cried, I think, the entire parade route. So, but yeah, just absolute class people all the way. And I love the quote Chris Berman had that about Ken from Paul Brown when Ken retired, that young players and young people would do well to emulate Ken Riley, as a football player and a person. So that's paraphrasing, but that's not far. That's exactly right.
See, James, as you were scuba diving with sharks and whatever, we were in Canton, Ohio, having a blast.
I know. I
you,
missed you guys.
I know you
missed
hated not being there, buddy.
And no, that was great. All the hard work paid off, and thanks to the Bengals fans for pushing this and doing it in a professional way. But as we alluded to there at the end with Ken, it's not over. There's more to get in, and we'll just keep doing it right and keep the push going for the other deserving Bengals. So,
James,
thanks to Ken for coming on. Yes, Tom.
James, are you committing then next year, first weekend of August, when Ken Anderson and Willie Anderson get in? You will be there. You won't be scuba diving in Australia or something like that.
Let's put it this way: if I am in the continental United States, I will be there.
Will you bring the body armor? Because damn, we needed it.
I'll be there supporting. That's it. Hey, let's hope that's a problem we have to deal with. That we have to go back to Canton again next August for another Bengal being inducted.
Yep. Real quick, I just posted a link in the site there. Don't forget, if you're heading to San Francisco, you want to have an awesome experience Saturday in Napa Valley. We've got a 30,000-foot wine cave that Bold Stripes is hosting us. And every week I get an update. It's getting closer and closer to that number where we're going to be sold out. So I wouldn't wait. If you're going to grab them, if you're going to be there, make sure you grab those. Make sure you grab a ticket to that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Live music, food, high-end wine tasting. And I'm not a big wine guy. I love wines, but I don't drink a ton of it. But I think Trish and I are going to spend most of the day in wine country there in Napa Valley and have a great time there. So it's going to be fun. Tony, let's talk about our charity duck race. Let's focus on how much money we raised after this week's event here. And we'll pull on John and we'll talk about the next charity duck race.
Yeah, so we were able to sell 42 ducks this week. And we gathered $1,050. So our total now is $36,755 for year to date, which is awesome. Houday Nation is always willing to support our causes and our charities, and we can't thank you guys enough. So appreciate everyone's effort in making that happen.
Yeah. So Tony, go ahead.
Before I forget, the Bengal Gym Fantasy Football League is back for, I think this is year 3 or 4. Bengal Gym is yet to finish outside the cellar, and we expect that to continue again. But as always, 100% of the proceeds are going to go to charity for that again this year. The winner will get an autograph prize. So people have already sent their money in. The defending champ, our man from the Sunshine State of Florida, Mon, will be back to defend his title. And if you'd like to get in, send us a private message. It's a $50 donation to charity, and you can be part of it. Sorry, Tony, I didn't want to forget that.
Oh, no worries. It's all about charity. It's good.
Yeah. So
is John in the room?
yeah, John's in the room. Go ahead and bring him on.
Okay, so this duck race was for the Complete Athlete Foundation. We have John Reith here, who can talk about the foundation, knows a little bit about what they do and what it's about, and we can kind of go from there and go right into the duck race. So, John, take it away for us.
All right, thanks, guys. Really appreciate everything you guys do for Bengals Nation, for charities and what have you. It's really commendable what you guys do. A little bit about what we do at the Complete Athlete Foundation. Ultimately, athletes, they set goals for nutrition, fitness, and skills, but rarely do they focus on the mental health aspect. And as we all know, I think mental health is a huge part of training and everything that an athlete does. So what we do is we provide mental health resources to athletes, coaches, parents, in support of an athlete's whole body health. That's mainly our mission. I do have a little bit of an update for those that remember last time we were on last year. This is the second time. So again, very appreciative of everything you guys do and including us in this. Last year we had Coach Matt Triplett that was on. He's from St. Francis de Sales. He's a lacrosse coach. Words cannot describe what this man did to get and a focus in the state of Ohio on mental health and mental health training. As you might remember, he was asking for support to get a bill passed to make mental health training a requirement for coaches in the state of Ohio. Very happy to report that now this is an actual bill in the state of Ohio. It's the first state to require mental health training for coaches as part of their certification. So we just want to acknowledge all of his hard work, his effort. It will benefit all athletes in Ohio. So congratulations to Matt Triplett. We're beyond excited. So with that, again, thank you guys for your support. Every dollar we raise is spent working with athletes, coaches, and parents to improve the mental aspect of an athlete's whole body.
Hey, John, this is when we heard about you last year and we kind of talking about it, it's something very unique. I coached football for 20 years here in the Cincinnati area. This is something that I never really thought about, man. It is something that's another reason I love some of the things we're doing with some of the charities, not just the money. Equally as important is the awareness, the things that you're talking about right now, because we have people right now watching this who've never heard of this before, which is really cool. And I know that's a big piece of what you want to is some exposure and understanding around what you guys are doing. So very cool stuff. Yeah. Well, we raised a little over $1,000, John. Who Dey Nation, a little over 1,050, right, Tony?
That's correct. Yep.
Doubled the amount of ducks from last year. So very exciting.
There you go, bro. There you go, man. So really cool. So let's go ahead and bring on the duck race here, man. Let's see who wins this. Hold on. I got to do this real quick, I guess. So the winner tonight gets these prizes are outstanding. So let me play this here. Talk about these, Tony, while this little short video plays.
Yeah, so we got a Boomer Esiason mini helmet signed, and John's organization donated this Ocho Cinco jersey, which is signed by multiple people, not just Ocho, but there's multiple signatures on that. So the winner is definitely winning a great package here, and it kind of coincides with our Ring of Honor. So these two people are coming into the Ring of Honor, so you're going to have some great memorabilia for those who win this. So congrats to whoever wins.
Very cool. Let's go. 41 ducks. It's another. We had 61 ducks a couple weeks ago and 41 today. It's a good number of ducks here, guys.
All righty, Tom, you ready?
They look healthy and ready to go. Let's do it, James.
Yeah, we're off.
And they're off. Charging out immediately is a duck I'm not allowed to talk about. So we'll blow by that. Then we got a Santa Claus duck, a purple duck on the outside, Michael Bolton. I didn't know was a big Bengals fan, but we're thrilled to have him there. Brandon Bradshaw, the Leonard Brezhnev duck on the outside. little bit coming through. The duck I'm not allowed to talk about, hanging tough, charging out front. I don't know, what is that? A little brownie duck, a little girl duck, a brownie duck, just coming through. Santa Claus hanging tough with
Here
the
it comes.
purple
Coming
duck,
down
but
the
you don't
stretch.
want to be ahead at this point. You never win. Here comes a green. Wait a minute, what is that?
David Fulcher, Junior David.
Judy Fulcher. Look
Yeah.
at that.
There.
Don't know what kind of duck that is, but congratulations to David.
The mermaid
Judy
duck.
Fulcher on their win.
That's the mermaid duck.
The mermaid
Is that a
duck.
mermaid?
Yeah.
Wow.
On the Ohio, I have never seen a mermaid on the Ohio River.
Yes. That is. All right.
God almighty.
Well, John, I think you can take care of getting that jersey to Dave and Judy for sure, and I'll work with you on getting that mini helmet to you as well.
No worries.
Hey, John, I got a question for you, and I hope this is the right person. So you have a daughter that's going out with a young guy that goes to UC, right?
Yes, I do. My stepdaughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Don't be too hard on her.
Her boyfriend works for me, sits right outside my office. And is she there listening to you?
I mean, they're in the other room, but yeah, she'll be
Both of them are
extremely
there?
embarrassed. Well, no, just Anna.
Okay. All right. Well, tell Hannah we have to talk. Bring her down to a tailgate. Her boyfriend is from the city up north, and the family loves.
Unfortunately, yes.
The city up north.
His only flaw.
He's a really good. He's a great dude. So I messed with our operations manager, so we got to do better interviewing, screening people. The first question is, are you a Browns fan or a Steelers fan? Yes, if it's a yes, the interview's over. But no,
yeah, you'll love this. Anna's
dude.
a Steelers fan.
What?
Yeah, her dad. She's a stepdaughter, so her dad was born and raised in Pittsburgh. So
okay,
yeah, all the step kids are Steelers fans, unfortunately. So
John, they give
it's kind of rough.
I mean,
you got time to fix that. You'll be fine. No,
sure.
John, we appreciate it, man. It means a lot being part of this. Thanks so much, man. And obviously we'll stay in touch with you, and I'm sure we'll be doing something like this again at some point down the road, bud.
We appreciate it. Thanks again, guys.
Right.
Houday.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to come to work tomorrow not happy with me now. So if he hears about that, so.
Jeez, what's going on at CAI Insurance? I'll hire anybody.
I know.
I mean, Mark gets a job, and then we got Browns fans.
Well, Mark was a good hire. This Browns fan, though, I question it. It's too early. I can't say anything yet. So, no, he's doing great.
A couple of things to add on to that.
What now?
Did Tony have a couple other things to add on?
Yeah. So a couple of just other charity things. One is if you can bring up that picture of Susan Huber, just as an update, who won our last duck race. She won the picture of Ted Karras in the pylon, so we were able to meet up and get them items to her. She was very ecstatic.
There it is.
Yeah, funny story is she actually works with my wife, so it was really a convenient drop off. So it worked out.
Yes.
So, and she did say she was no relation to Kevin Huber, so she cleared that up for us. And just a couple other things real quick is this weekend is the Wild Weekend at Furniture Fair. If you guys are near any Furniture Fair, please stop by. They're collecting school supplies and backpacks. I'm going to volunteer my time at the Eastgate location this Saturday from 11 to 2. And we're going to be giving away a jersey. It's going to be a Chad Johnson Ocho Cinco signed jersey. So when you bring in an item, preferably a backpack full of supplies, you'll get a ticket for the drawing. So we'll be drawing that on Sunday night or Monday for that lucky winner as well. And then our next duck race, which is scheduled for 9/5. Details will come out, of course, as always. It's going to be with T3 Corp. And that is actually out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And those who know about Oak Ridge, Tennessee, that is where Higgins is from. And what we call Mama T. She is part of that board for T3 Corp. So looking forward to working with her and them to earn some money. And we got a pretty good prize for that one as well. So we got a new Higgins signed custom jersey for that lucky winner as well. So looking forward to those two things. And I just want to give a shout out to the Who Dey Nation once again. We started a little campaign about 2 years ago called Tony's Tickets for Kids. I am overwhelmed and pleased that we are sending 10 kids to the preseason game this Friday. It's awesome. This can only be done with people donating tickets and allowing us to help facilitate getting these tickets to these kids and having their first time, giving them a good experience at the game. So very blessed. And I just want to say a personal thank you to all of Who Dey Nation. So it's been fun.
Yeah, man, we thank everybody for being part of this stuff, man. Thank you so much. Let's talk about this guy right here, man. Something happened, Tom, this past Friday.
Logan Wilson, that was like a subliminal message. But yeah, a big signing. I don't know, either directly or indirectly may have broken the story. But yeah, it was, there were three big ones the Bengals needed to re-up this year or extend, really. And Logan Wilson was one of them. I think the Bengals have the best linebacker tandem in the NFL. As good as anybody else, that's for certain, and maybe the best in their history. Certainly the best since Brian Simmons and Takeo Spikes were there. So it's another piece as they move into the future. They want to win. They want to continue winning and being one of those upper echelon teams. And Logan Wilson is a guy that can help you win a Super Bowl. He's a big play linebacker, a very solid tackler. You guys remember, how did the linebacker core 4 years ago tackle?
They couldn't tackle, couldn't cover. They couldn't do anything, Tom. Come on.
I still have nightmares of Nick Vigil out there.
Well, okay, exactly. But to paraphrase John McKay, they couldn't cover, but they compensated by not being able to tackle. But we've got two guys now that can do both, and they have a penchant, to make big plays. I think Jermaine Pratt's the best big play linebacker the team's ever had, and certainly one of the best in the NFL. So that's a big part going forward. We got them both. We got Logan this weekend, and hopefully that settles some things. And we're looking at two other big extensions coming up in these next several weeks. But a big step forward.
Yep.
Definitely a big step forward. I think a lot of the talk this week was about the value, if you want to use that term. A lot of people used the Roquan Smith contract that he got in Baltimore of an annual sum of around $20 million. Where if you look at what we have with Jermaine Pratt and then Logan Wilson, 3/4 of that number, and obviously two players. So smart move by the Bengals. I think, as we alluded to earlier, we've been searching for that linebacker, the Paul Dawsons, the Vigils, everybody, all the other names that we've gone through, just drafting players, trying to find those guys to solidify the middle of the field. And finally, we have two of them. And fortunately for us, we've locked them up, and they're going to be here for the next couple of years. Has also talked about how happy Logan and his wife were, especially his wife, to be staying in Cincinnati and not having to go anywhere and being locked right in here to the community. So kudos for the Bengals to getting it done. As you said, I don't think the off season's over for signing a couple more guys, and this certainly was a good start.
Yeah, I think the contract basically at 9.3 million average over the next 4 years. So we definitely got Logan through 2028. It looks like, so pretty good deal for him, and looking forward to seeing him over the next few years.
Yep. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about our guy K.Anderson, man. It's so awesome to see Riley in, and just so awesome to see all the Bengal fans up in Canton. He was part of this 31 semifinalist. They trimmed it down to 12 on July 27th. Kenny was in that 12. Now we're going to find out here. The nomination goes down to 3 here August 22nd. So it's coming up, guys, and we're getting close. I'm hoping and praying K.Anderson gets in there on this run. We don't know that's going to happen, but I do think it's going to happen. If it's not this year, it's got to be next year. So he's so close, Tom. So let's talk about that a little bit. We know they're going to have that vote here coming up here in the 22nd, Tom. So let's kind of fill everybody in on where that's at and what's going on there.
Well, like you said, from 31 down to 12, and from that 12, they'll whittle it down and settle on 3 that get nominated. And it's very, very rare that once as a senior candidate, if you're nominated, that you don't get in. We've been beating the drum. We know K.Anderson was a franchise quarterback. He was an elite quarterback in a time of great quarterbacks in the NFL. And he outdid so many of them in so many ways. 4 NFL passing titles, 2 in 2 different decades under 2 radically different systems. He perfected the West Coast offense for others to follow, but he perfected that. And he was everything you wanted in a quarterback. If you were to program, these are the things I need my quarterback to be, it would have spit out K.Anderson in the 70s and the 80s. He could throw the deep ball. He was the most accurate passer of his era and one of the most accurate of all times. Very, very smart, incredible leader, franchise quarterback, came within a foot of winning a Super Bowl. And, that wasn't his fault. He took bad teams and made them average. He took average teams and made them good, and took a very good team within a foot of winning a Super Bowl. So, it's just like Ken Riley. It's insanely overdue. And like Ken Riley, very classy man, very classy player. Whenever you talk to Ken, even if it's set up to promote him, if you ever talk to Ken, the first thing he does for 10, 15 minutes, Jimmy, he will talk about almost every teammate that he ever had. He won't talk about the offensive lines that didn't protect him and got him hurt. And he did have a couple of very good offensive linemen, in there, the Bob Johnsons and the Dave Laphams in the 70s before the 80s offensive lines. But, so many people don't know about him. Our small market, lack of being on national TV back then in an era where you didn't know everything about every single team. And, it still sticks in my craw that how many of the national writers and some of the voters don't know the facts about him. They don't know about his 4 passing titles. I was even challenged by one of them in talking this weekend up in Canton with a couple of the media. And I said, what is the holdup? And he said, they really just don't know. So, because he was classy, because he was a team first guy, to a degree that works against him. But hopefully that's coming to an end. And hopefully with the play of the current team and now Ken Riley being up in Canton, that'll help thaw things out. James?
I agree. I think that, again, as we said earlier, the push is on. K.Anderson is long overdue. But I think, and we've said this before, with what's being done, not only from the Bengals organization with the Ring of Honor, with the success on the field, admit it or not, the Bengals word is used a lot in the NFL, ESPN, social media. We're back in the limelight, which is helping. I think that helped Ken Riley, the fan push, and we're going in the right direction. And I think it's a year or two, and he'll be in. So just keep doing what you're doing. It's working, and it's not over. And we all know he's deserving, but we just got to keep the push going. Jimmy?
Yep, I'm with you. I mean, Tom just makes a great point there. It's like Paul Brown drafted a lot of just class guys. You had people like Isaac Curtis, K.Anderson, Ken Riley, all Willie Anderson even. All these guys had the same personality. It was never about them. And if they felt that they were even talking about themselves, they got uncomfortable with it because every time we talk to K.Anderson, he just gets uncomfortable. He wants to deflect any praise at all. And he just doesn't like talking about it. He didn't want people to think that he's trying to fight to get in or promoting himself. That's not who he is. All those guys I just mentioned are all the same way. So that's the thing that sticks out to me, man. All these guys played on the same damn team. Munoz was part of that same type of person as well. Dave Lapham, all these guys were Paul Brown guys, and they all had that same attribute, which is it's not about me, it's about the team. And that's what you got to love about these guys, man. They're just so humble.
Our listener Tom asked who's on the list for seniors, and I believe Vinny has it pretty close here. For those wondering, you see Kenny on there. I can't believe Sterling Sharp's already eligible for the senior committee, but
keep in mind Sterling only played 7 years, so
there you go. So I'll pop this back up. But those are the other names that are up. And, again, we'll just keep the push on. I think everything that happened this past weekend, shows the class of the Bengals fans. And we'll just keep the good fight going.
Yep. Let's go ahead and I had it in here earlier. Tony just had a little connection issue. See if I can find it here. Hold on. Here it is. Let's go.
This is your 2-minute warning.
That's our buddy Brandon from Portsmouth. He's probably eating dinner at a river right now and having a beer over a nice hot steak right there, man. So
was that a fair catch sign? Was he fair catching a Miller Lite, or what was going on there?
I couldn't tell you. Go ahead, Tom. Get us kicked off.
Maybe he's trying to flag you down. Well, thanks, Brandon, for doing that.
Well, one guy in, and we've talked about we've got a lot to do in the coming weeks. Please talk about K.Anderson, push those attributes, get the buzz going. We should not have to promote him. All we're asking is that he get a fair shake, because that's all he needs. So, but please don't forget Kenny these next couple of weeks. But looking ahead into the guys that are busting their butts right now in this humidity down on the river, game Friday night. First look, a lot of these exciting rookies, a lot of guys fighting to make the team. I doubt that we see the first string out there very much, but still, the Bengals are building a lot of depth on this team, much more so than they had even in the Super Bowl team 2 years ago. So it should be a fun game to watch Friday night, and we will look to see everybody there, James.
Yeah, look forward to seeing everybody Friday. We will be down there in the southeast corner of Lottie, although in a much reduced role. But if you'd like to come down and say hey and talk before you walk into Paycor, we would love to see you. Not only that, we'll be there Sunday as part of the Skyline Fan Day. So if you can't make it Friday and plan on going to Skyline Fan Day on Sunday at Paycor for practice, we'd love to see you down there for that. But preseason, it just I don't know, it's kind of a dirty word. You just hope that everybody can stay healthy. As you said, Tom, there's a lot of depth on this team, so it's an opportunity to see some of those younger guys play, and some of those guys that might be thrust into action. God forbid we have any injuries. So there's certainly some position battles. We've got a deep wide receiver group with some guys fighting to make the team. So it'll be interesting there. And then getting some stuff. We'll see some new faces. Some of the guys we signed this offseason putting stripes on for the first time. So it'll be fun. And again, as we said earlier, this will be the only opportunity to see the Bengals at home, as their other two preseason games are on the road in Atlanta and Washington. So if you're around, stop by, have a beer. We'd love to say hey. If you're coming down Sunday, stop by and see us. Rumor is Bengal Jim's going to be slinging snow cones Sunday prior to practice. So come on down and get one of those. And look forward to seeing everybody. And again, Ken Riley was on, and class as always, as he's been, while his father's name was just still being tossed around. And just that same level-headedness, humbleness that we've seen from Ken the whole time continues on now that his father's finally in Canton. So once again, congrats to them. Jealous of everybody that had the opportunity to go to Canton. And I'll turn it over to you, Jimmy.
Yeah, man. So see everybody Friday night. Remember, just for clarity, we're not doing a full-blown stage, music, food. We're just going to be down there. We'll be down there. Come down and join us. I think we have Red Bull going to be down there giving away Red Bulls and all kinds of stuff. But we're not doing a full-blown tailgate, but we will be down there. Come down and say hi. We'll be in the east side of Lot E. Also, the FOCO deal, guys. This FOCO thing is going to be a lot of fun for everybody. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. There'll be a lot of things we do at the tailgate. a lot of things in the pod, and even some surprises that are on the plan now until the end of the season with FOCO that you're going to be shocked. It's going to be a lot of fun. So very excited about that. They're going to be helping out one of our charities here coming up. Don't forget to grab your hats from Cooks. This first of 5 in this series, this is going to be gone here very soon, guys. That hat will be gone. So make sure you grab it. The only Bengals merch that we are aware of, Cooks and us worked on very hard to design that hat. The only Bengals merch that actually has the old AFL logo on it. You see the Kansas City Chiefs using that pretty regularly. Then the last thing, I guess, I keep teasing everybody about the tailgate, what's going on this year. Guys, all I can tell you is that, as James and Craig told me today, I got to be patient. Things are falling in place. A big meeting happened last week. We got some approvals for some things. We have a couple more small hurdles. But when we roll this out, you guys will be the first to know, because it is probably going to be one of the most unique things, not just in Cincinnati, but one of the most unique tailgates and environments, if it's not already, in the entire NFL. So we're working really hard to do a lot of different things. And as we get closer to finalizing this, we're real close right now. I promise you we'll fill everybody in on what's going on this year. So thank you so much for being part of this. Thanks so much for being part of the charity. Tony lost some connection. But we appreciate everybody. 41, that's over 100 ducks. The last 2 duck races is pretty damn solid, guys. So we appreciate you so much. Thanks for being part of it. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. Hoo day, everybody.
Hoo day.
Good day.